Welcome back to Internet Frenzy.
Hey guys, I'm Whitney.
And I'm Joe.
And we are so excited for this episode, but first we got to talk about last week's episode. That was one of my favorite episodes I think we have done just when it comes to stories. I thought they were absolutely insane.
They were nutty. They were absolutely, there were some heaters for sure.
Yeah.
Loose lips sink ships. And who had the fake?
Ooh. Well, just a little recap. The first one was OP grew up isolated in a strict Catholic household until she found Reddit. Second one, OP's night takes a sharp turn when, in the heat of the moment, his wife moans another man's name. Yikes. Then OP catches a ride home with his friend's mom, only to experience the most terrifying car ride of his life. And finally, a wedding dress shopping trip takes a dark turn when OP runs into her soon-to-be brother-in-law. Which one was the fake?
I know which one was the fake.
I know which one was the fake, and it was absolutely my story. My story was when OP catches a ride home with his friend's mom, and it was the hit and run, basically. So fake.
Crazy story.
Fake. That
Super
mama
duper
is not real. ChatGPT for life.
For life.
For life. For sure. Well, this week's going to be really good. We're doing 3 stories, and you guys got to figure out which one's the fake, generated by ChatGPT, and the other 2 ones are absolutely real, found on Reddit or online on the internet. We're excited. We're going to jump right in. So what's the topic for this week?
This week is... Oh, hold on. Oh, I remember. This week is Elite Deceit.
Oh!
Stories about crazy lies.
Oh, I love it.
So it's open-ended, but like not, and the stories are bringing the heat again. So
you're not ready for mine.
I'm probably not ready for yours.
We'll get ready.
I guess I'll just go first.
As you should, King.
That's right. This one comes from Best of Redditor Updates. Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend my dad was dead?
Am I an asshole?
For telling my boyfriend my dad was dead when he wasn't dead.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh. What
You ready?
Psycho. Yeah, I'm ready.
This is pretty recent too. This was just this month.
Oh.
I, 26F, lost my mother to cancer when I was 8 and have always had an absent father. I only found out who he was when I was 13, and even then he did not want custody of me, forcing me to stay in the foster care system until I was 18. Over my whole life, I have had about 5 conversations with him, give or take. He's kind of a stranger to me. He appears once in a blue moon to ask for money or something along those lines. Doesn't really bother me anymore. I've just learned to accept it now, but I don't like talking about it. So to avoid that conversation with people, I usually just say both my parents are dead.
Whoa.
This leads me to a year and a half ago when I had just started dating my boyfriend, 25M, and like usual, I had just told him my parents were dead. But the other day, my dad showed up at my door. I still don't know how he knows where I live, and asked for $100, except my boyfriend was there and he obviously found out my dad was not dead. This led to a long conversation with him that night where I explained the whole situation. He said this was a breach of trust between us since I lied about my dad and that he needed some space to rethink our relationship, but he doesn't think he will leave me. I feel so crappy and that I should have told him earlier, but I'm going to be honest. I just didn't think. So, am I the asshole?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna go with yeah. You are. That's a year and a half dating someone and they believe your dad is dead. I mean, for me, it just shows how much therapy that girl needs. Like, she has so much trauma she needs to heal from and like sort through. But like she's telling him when they first meet, like, oh yeah, both my parents are dead. The past year and a half talking, like dating, that conversation has come up again.
100%.
And so she's just still lying. So her being like, I forgot. I said that and then we just moved on.
You just never revisited it.
Yeah, there's no way. Dang, that's crazy.
So there's a couple of updates. So We'll read them. But before we do, I will just say it's unfortunate because you can bond with somebody over that. Like over sharing stuff. It's like, hey, even if it's not ideal, it's like, hey, I have to tell you, I lied about something and like, here's why.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, I hate talking about this because like my dad let me stay in foster care. Like that's brutal.
Yeah.
I feel bad for her, but she obviously made the wrong choice.
Yes.
So the first update's short. My boyfriend texted me 5 minutes ago asking to talk, so we are going to have a full in-depth conversation tomorrow after work, and I'll update again then, with a smiley face. She's feeling good.
She's the Lulu.
Now on to the update. My boyfriend told me that all the sudden information, along with the knowledge I hadn't told him the truth, was very overwhelming, and he just needed some space to not say the wrong thing. He also said that he got why I lied initially, and he wasn't mad that I lied, more hurt that I felt like I couldn't tell him about it. He also mentioned that he couldn't be there for me if he didn't know what was going on. The conversation ended in tears, and it is the most vulnerable I have been in front of someone. He was very understanding, and we have decided to draw a line in the sand and start again, if that makes sense. I've also looked into therapy for my childhood trauma, and all in all, I'm using this as an opportunity to better myself and heal fully. Thank you all for your kind comments.
Aw. Wow, that was actually a Reddit story that, like, ended, like, that's exactly what you should do.
100%.
Because I don't think the boyfriend should just break up with her and be done with her. Like, I don't feel like that. So I'm glad they're going to stay together. I'm glad she's getting therapy. That's a good, I like it.
It was good.
I feel good about that.
Yeah, like, I'm glad that she recognized that it wasn't right.
Yeah.
And moving in the right direction with boyfriend who's supporting her. This is the part that I wasn't sure when I should read it, but she gives kind of two main points to give context to what she said before. The first thing, and this is in response to some comments, she said, I've only given money to my dad once when I was still desperate for his love and acceptance, but he did not get any money from me this time. And then the second point she makes is, despite his confusion, my BF stepped in to defend me and get my dad to leave, and it was only after my dad left he asked me about it.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, to think that he was like, the dad's like deadbeat, kind of like showing up like, hey, can I have some money? And the boyfriend's like, you're back from the grave asking for money. Like, he's thinking like, what the heck is going on right now?
Yeah.
And he still was willing to be like, nah, buddy, you gotta go.
Yeah.
And then he started asking questions like, okay, what is going on? Why did you lie about this? So he's a good dude.
He is a good dude.
Shout out to him and OP learning from the mistakes.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's a big deal. You got to be honest about this personal stuff early on in a relationship. Don't build a relationship on falsehood.
No, definitely not.
That's a bad thing to do.
Yeah.
I've heard
too. No, but for real, I really like that. I think that's a great ending. I can see her side as to why she didn't want to say anything. Because, yeah, like, she doesn't ever really see him anyway. And it's hard to talk about. But it's time to talk about it. Open up. Be vulnerable.
Relationships are made on that. Life is hard.
Life is so hard.
It's way better if you can go through hard things with your person and you have that trust.
And that, like, full transparency and just, like, vulnerability. There's nothing more like better than that. Like, that's really where you truly connect.
We've both brought trauma into our relationship and learned and grown together and been vulnerable, and we're both still trying. All right, listen. That one was a little bit like, kind of happy-ish ending.
Yeah, I feel good.
Flowers.
Yeah.
Not this one.
Okay, here we go. I'm ready.
This one is going to trigger you. It triggered me.
Oh, no.
It's going to trigger the listeners.
Oh, no.
This one's going to rattle some cages.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Best of Redditor updates as well. My husband and son both lied to me. I, 34F, my husband, 36M, been married for 12 years.
Okay.
A few weeks ago, my husband said that he has seen another woman handle situations that he didn't think I would be able to handle. I tried to talk to him about why it bothered me, and he just told me it was a passing comment and I shouldn't take it so seriously. That he had meant to simply compliment her by saying she was handling so much on her own, and he was impressed by it. I told him it was completely unnecessary and hurtful to compare her to me to compliment her. He told me I was being unreasonable and jealous and that he didn't mean anything by it. After that, he didn't say anything else about it, so I dropped it. Then yesterday, when I came home from work, I saw a pair of women's Fendi sunglasses on our kitchen island, kind of hidden by our fruit bowl. I picked them up and asked my husband whose they were. He looked confused and was like, "Aren't they yours?" And I said no. Our older son, who's 11, is sitting at the kitchen table and goes, "Oh, those are my friend Allison's. I took them home on accident." I was immediately suspicious. These are very expensive sunglasses. I know Allison's mother, and she doesn't seem like the type to let her child bring something worth that much money into school. My son kept insisting they were hers, and he had just taken them home accidentally on the bus, and he'd return them to her tomorrow. But I said no, and that I'd return them to her mother in person so I could make sure they got to them safely. When I spoke to Allison's mother, she confirmed that they weren't Allison's and that neither she nor her daughter owned sunglasses like that. When I told my son and my husband this, they both feigned ignorance. My son went from saying that he could have sworn they were Allison's to, well, maybe not, maybe I don't know whose they are. And then my husband said that he does remember taking the sunglasses out of our son's backpack when he was getting out his lunch stuff. My younger son, who's 9, just came home and recognized the sunglasses. You're not ready for the name.
I'm ready.
They are Noelle's. I was going to preface this story by saying, like, shout out in advance to a listener. Like, you guys might think this is fake because Noelle's name is in it. I'm not going to say anything else. They are Noelle's, the woman my husband helps out sometimes. The one who had told me to not be upset over comparing me to her.
Oh, snap.
I'm going to confront him when he gets home. I don't know what to say to him. I feel as though I'm going to immediately burst into tears. Can someone please give me advice on what to say? And also just general advice, please. I never thought I would be in this situation.
Oh my gosh.
So,
okay.
These glasses are Noelle's. Yes. Shout out.
And the 9-year-old's the one that outed it.
The 9-year-old's like, oh, I know whose glasses those are. Those are Noelle's. Dad helps Noelle sometimes.
So what is he exactly helping with? That's what I'm a little confused. Like, so she's over there.
Yeah, he be just helping her.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way. This 11-year-old boy, dad is already instilling in him this, like, character flaw of lying.
Massive.
And he's doing it to protect his dad, but also it's like, he was a little too good at it, you know?
All he had to do was say, oh yeah, those are my friends. It wasn't planned. Like, it's not like, we're going to leave these on the counter for mom to find. It was like the kid literally, like, unprompted lied.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal. That's a big issue.
Yeah, that's a huge issue.
And it's sad because an 11-year-old should not be in a situation to do that ever.
Ever.
And therapy.
Not only is this dad ruining their marriage by doing making the decisions that he's making, but he's also, like, really damaging his son.
Well, that's, huge.
That's really sad. I wonder, like, what type of, we love therapy, so we always talk about it, but I really wonder what type of trauma this little kid is gonna experience and, like, have to work through later on in life because of this, you know? Witnessing your dad cheating on your mom.
Well, how about taking your parents' problems upon yourself?
Yeah.
Like, there's no doubt that, like, there has to be fear. You're 11, so you can't fully comprehend all of it, but, like, you have to think that if you don't lie, you're going to see your parents get divorced.
Yeah.
That's
you got to, like, protect
horrible.
Both of them in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
That's very complex.
Yeah, that's, like, I mean, that is trauma. Feeling responsible for their issues, and, like, you're just literally, you're just along for the ride, bud. You didn't do anything.
So true.
And it sucks because, like, obviously the mom's naturally going to be upset with the kid. Like, she's going to be like, dude, how the frick could you lie to me? I'm your mom.
Yeah.
But the dude's just too little.
Yeah, he's just a kid. Even 16, it's like they're just kids.
Yeah. They should not be tasked with being in the middle of their parents' relationship. In any way you slice that, that's trauma.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate reality.
I hope neither parent leans on the kids, though, for, like, comfort and things like that. That's something that I think is just so wrong.
Yeah. And it goes both ways, whether it's comfort, whether it's anger. Like, don't involve the kids.
Yeah.
The kids are kids.
Exactly.
They are bystanders that, yes, there's picking sides or whatever, but there's not. It's like they're just in a crappy situation.
And I think, too, like, for this mom, for instance, like, if she needs time to, like, sort through things, because that is, like, a massive blow. She's obviously not going to be her best version of herself for her children in that moment. She just needs to drop them off at Noelle's house for a couple days and then...
Yes. Like, hey, Noelle, can you be the mom I can't be? My husband thinks that you're better than me. That's brutal.
No, but that comment, that would piss me off. Like, and I liked how she worded that. Don't compare me to her just to, like, and you're putting me down throughout it just to compliment her. That's not cool.
Some women can do the stuff that you're not doing. Like, it's like...
It's crazy. It's like grass ain't always greener on the other side.
The floors aren't mopped when you get home. Like, some women can have kids and clean the entire house by the time I get back from work. Like, Noelle does it.
I know.
Like, that, yeah,
so
just
funny.
I don't know what the context could have been. Obviously not.
I think it has to do with, like, work. Like she's like a boss babe or something.
Maybe.
I don't know. That's what I'm picturing, but possibly.
Maybe the update will tell us.
Shut up. Tell me right now. I am so glad there's an update.
Yeah. I-34F. And I think this was posted to a different sub and then combined. Don't yawn.
Sorry. Oh, look who's yawning.
You.
Look who's yawning. And your yawn's 20 times longer.
It's because it's real. I-34F. Found a pair of sunglasses on my kitchen table. My son, who's 11, immediately claimed they were his friends, even though it was pretty obvious they were an adult woman's. Even after the story began to fall apart, he and his father continued to lie. My youngest son, 9, ended up identifying the sunglasses. When he got home, my husband admitted they were Noelle's. She has been over there while I was at work. My husband has not realized they were hers. He thought they were mine, which is why he didn't move them. My older son realized whose they were immediately, which is why he lied about them. He knew I was about to find it all out and was trying to cover.
Oh.
Just sad. That really is heartbreaking to me because that kid should not have to do that.
No.
My younger son recognized them because apparently they have gone with Noelle numerous places on my husband's days off while I was at work.
So she's a boss babe.
I don't know what he told my older son, but he told my youngest not to tell me about Noelle and her son hanging out with them because I would feel bad about being left out because I was at work.
I hate this dad.
Bad guy.
He is literally not a good person.
I returned the glasses to Noelle, who seemed horrified. She was under the assumption I knew about their hangouts. I asked her why did she think I would be okay with this. She looked really confused and told me why would I care if we were separated anyway. I told her we absolutely were not separated. We were very much still together. Apparently my husband told her we had not been together except for cohabitating and co-parenting for months now. I confronted my husband with this information and he didn't deny it. He apologized but said he had developed feelings for Noelle but didn't want to risk our marriage until he knew if they were true feelings or just attraction. He left the house. Noelle wants nothing to do with him because now she knows the truth. He lied to her as well and she's furious. I'm speaking to a lawyer today. Not going to speak to him again except through lawyers since I don't have anything else to say to him.
Wow.
That is it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but I am relieved to hear that she works because it's like because like I just always like feel fearful and bad for people that they get a divorce and then it's like, hey, I'm a single mom and I don't have a job.
It's way harder to leave if you can't sustain your own life.
100%.
Yes.
No, that's not like it's not. I'm just glad she works.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me feel a little bit better for her. I'm rooting for her. And also, I'm so glad she dipped.
Yeah, she was like not a second thought.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot there, but to me, equal to like, I mean, I don't know. You can't really put a weight on it, but it just feels really insidious to me that the kids had to be involved in the lying.
Yes.
It's one thing to have an affair. That's horrible.
Yeah.
But to involve the kids and have an 11-year-old covering for you.
And like spend the day
I'm mad at you, bro.
And spend the day with Noelle and like have a relationship with this mistress.
Well, yeah, and it's like, what are they doing? They're out going to Chuck E. Cheese? Like,
it's so confusing for a kid seeing your dad like putting his arm around another lady. They probably kissed in front of them. Like,
I mean, we're grasping at straws, but maybe
we're grasping at freaking nothing.
What we know
but
is
everything.
What we know is that the dad asked them not to tell the mom, which is so effed.
That's so messed up.
Yeah, that's
and
sad.
He put like a guilt trip on them saying that mom would feel left out. That's crazy.
Like, don't make mom have FOMO. It's better off she doesn't know. Like, mom loves going to Peter Piper Pizza. If she finds out we're here, she's going to be sad.
She's going to cry all night long.
I feel like that part feels worse.
Yeah, it definitely feels worse than like just the affair in general. But
maybe, I think too, Reddit has us desensitized to all of that stuff. We've read so many stories. That's like childhood trauma hits close to home, but we all have it. We all have our issues. And this one in particular for me was like, dude, don't do that.
Yeah,
don't involve the kid because the kid will have to talk about that in therapy when they're 32. Don't take that out.
I'm not. Oh my gosh.
I bet they would have to talk about it in therapy when they're 32 if this happened to them.
Yeah, I bet. I wouldn't know, but I would put money on it, like $1 million.
Just sounds believable. That's it.
Okay, well, I I'm ready for mine. This one comes from True Off My Chest. You are not ready. Okay. I've been keeping a murder secret for almost 10 years and it's eating me alive. I don't know why I'm posting this. Maybe just to get it out of my head for a second. I can't tell anyone in real life and it's been sitting in my chest like a brick for years. Back in 2015, I was living in a pretty bad part of town. I had just turned 20, working a dead-end job, barely scraping by. My apartment was in this old complex where the walls were thin and everyone just kind of minded their business. It wasn't a bad place, but definitely had some sketchy people. One night, I was walking home from work around 11:30 p.m. I took the back way through the parking lot like I always did. As I was getting close to my building, I saw two guys arguing near one of the dumpsters. Nothing crazy at first, just loud and aggressive. I remember thinking, not my problem, and kept walking. Then, one of them pulled a gun. It happened so fast, I barely had time to process. The guy with the gun, let's call him T, was someone I'd seen around before. Just one of those dudes who's always outside, always seems to know everybody. The other guy? No idea. But he was begging. I mean, straight up pleading for his life. I remember the way his voice cracked. That part still haunts me. And then, bang. It wasn't like in the movies. No dramatic collapse, no final words, just a weird jerky movement, and then he hit the ground. I remember the smell too. Burnt gunpowder and something else. Something warm. I should have run. I should have screamed, but I just froze. And then T turned his head and looked right at me. Like that. I don't even know if he knew me, but in that moment, it didn't matter. We locked eyes and he just stood there for a second staring me down. Then clear as day, he said, "You didn't see shit." I nodded and then I walked inside my building like nothing happened. I'm shocked he didn't shoot him. I barely slept that night. I kept waiting for sirens for cops to knock on my door for something, but nothing came. I checked the news obsessively the next day. Nothing. A few days later, I heard some neighbors talking about a gang thing that happened near the dumpsters, but nobody seemed to know details. It was like it barely even registered, and I just let it go. I told myself it wasn't my business, that calling the cops wouldn't bring the guy back, and honestly, I was scared. I knew what would happen if word got out that I snitched. I kept my mouth shut, moved out 6 months later, and tried to pretend it never happened. But I still see that guy's face sometimes when I close my eyes. I still hear his voice, that panic, that fear. I have no idea who he was, no idea if he had family looking for answers. And the worst part? I still don't know if I'd do anything differently if I could go back. I just live with it.
Oh my goodness. That is not chill. I don't know. Maybe it's because I watched too much 2020. How do you not say something? How do you not I'm shook.
I get in that moment you were terrified. I even get sleeping through the night, scared someone's going to come to your house and keeping your mouth shut. But when life continues to go on in 1 or 2 days past, you should be absolutely going to the police station at that point.
Well, it's like, I have so many questions. Like, did they find a body? Did T or whatever, did he take him somewhere?
There's no update yet. This was posted yesterday.
Oh my goodness.
And I don't even know if this guy's going to even do an update after he hears all the comments, because all the comments are saying you need to go to the cops.
Yeah,
go
need say,
to
I'm sure.
say something. So it's to him, he's never going to do it. He even admitted, he probably wouldn't do it differently if he could go back, which is, the craziest part, I believe, of his story.
And so it just makes me think, I wonder, I've never lived in, an area like that. I've never lived in, a bad area.
Yeah.
There's places in the United States even where, gun violence is super high. Obviously you hear stories of people seeing gang activity, stuff like that. There are people out there that have to carry it around. They see things happen.
Yeah.
And they do carry it because there would be repercussions if they narked on somebody.
That's pretty scary.
That's a very real thing. This doesn't sound so much like that. I mean, he's in a bad part of town, but he's not it's not some gang initiation or something,
Yeah, very true. And also it's he sees T around, but it's not he's homies with him, or he's even in the same crowd as T.
It's just that, and I don't know why T would trust him not to say anything.
I know. That was one thing when I did read this story yesterday when I was looking for one. When he does say you didn't see shit, I was wow, I'm very surprised that was his reaction to someone witnessing him murder someone.
Blast some dude. Yeah.
I mean, obviously he blasted him and like it's got to be what, gang related, like he owed him money, or it's, I don't even know, but
I mean, at this point, it could be any freaking thing.
yeah, maybe the killer is like, he has a conscience enough to like, he's not going to just murder some like innocent bystander on the street, obviously, or else he would have just shot him.
Yeah, he could have just blown OP up before OP even got to Reddit.
This was what? It was 10 years ago when he witnessed this too?
Oh, yeah, that's what it said, right?
Yeah, 10 years. So it's almost 10 years.
In this day and age, 2020 is going to be doing an episode on this. They're going to... The guy that died, his family's been looking for him the whole time. They just barely found a body somewhere. And, like, they're going to draw this whole big picture. And somehow OP's going to get in trouble for this. I can just tell. OP's going to get, like, linked in. Like,
that would be crazy.
Brought in somehow. I don't know. That was gnar.
I'm sure T has killed many other people.
And, like,
in the past 10 years.
I want to know from the people that live in those types of hoods or have lived there before, like, is this normal? Is there people in parts of the world that just see things and they just
keep their head down and walk away?
Yeah, like they just don't want to be a snitch, so they let things slide. And
it could be something along the lines of like, yeah, I don't want to be a snitch, but also it's like, I don't want to get killed or my family.
But it's all of that, right? Like if you snitch, there's repercussions for that. It's not just the not wanting.
Well, there is that type of like vibe of like, I'm no snitch. Like, I'm not going to ever snitch someone else out.
Yeah. If you're a gangbanger.
Oh, well, part of me thought maybe this guy is like, since he is around that town, like that side of town. And he like, when the dude was like, you didn't see shit, he nodded and then walked inside his building. Like nothing happened that night. So he like played it cool, obviously, but he obviously knows T to an extent.
Yeah. Well, you'd seen him around.
So that means that he probably hangs around similar types of people.
What would you do if you saw it? I hit him with one of these. He's like, you didn't see, like, zip, block it. It's going in my pocket, dog.
Then you would walk away and turn around and there's shit coming down your pants.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, me, I would probably look at him and say, I saw the whole thing, bro. You just murdered him.
Oh, really?
That's what I'd say. And I'd say, give me the gun. Give me it. T. Give me the gun.
Hand it over. I'm taking you to your mom.
And then I just put the gun on him. No, I'm just kidding. That's horrible. Wow. I hate myself. No, but I would tell him, give me the gun.
No, you wouldn't.
I would bring my mom voice out. Give me the gun right now. And then I would grab it. But then all of the fingerprints are on my hand. And then I could get arrested.
Oh,
I'll take the fall. Just go away, T.
Like, T, I ain't no snitch.
I'll take it. I'll take one for the team, bro.
I was here. I shouldn't have been here. You go. I did it. That took a turn. I don't know where in your mind you're like, I'm fixing this situation.
Yeah, that's my trauma, guys. I go to fix it mode. Oh, that's so funny.
T. Dog, give me the gun, bro.
Give me the gun. You didn't even shoot him properly. He's still alive. See? Okay, no. This is actually really sad.
I mean...
There's a dead guy out there that has never been found or noticed, and we're over here just like, we're terrible. But that's part of the podcast.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of those, right? Like, there's more of those than we can even count. Like, it's fine. We're not going to get all tripped up on that. But the reality is... a vast majority of people would have too much conscience to do what OP has done. Like, I cannot imagine witnessing something like that. And I'm just soft. Like, I'm just, like, not built for it. If I was a witness to something that gnarly, I'm snitching. I'm narking. I'm going to the cops. I don't care what it is. If my friends tried to get me to, like, keep a secret, any of it. Like, sorry. I can't. I won't.
Yeah.
Anything like that is like, no.
Good. I'm glad you have a conscience.
Yeah. I'm not tolerating that. Like, I would snitch.
That's terrifying. If you killed someone and I saw you do it.
Not me, them.
T, I'm turning you, and T is for turn. Turning
you in.
On. That's what I would do. He'd be like, you didn't see shit. I'd be like, oh, T.
Like, you want to see some shit?
I saw. And I liked it. That's what I do. Cringe. You would shoot me for sure.
It's like, what?
You're gross.
Hold on.
You'd be like, I'd be like, what sick human being gets turned on by that? You're done.
Yeah, that, I mean.
You want to know what I would actually do, though? For real, for real?
For real, tell me.
I'll tell you. You didn't see shit. No, you do it. Tell me.
You didn't see shit. If you're listening to the pod, she just was the blind person with the cane. Like,
That would be imaginary cane.
I simply could not have seen shit, sir, because I'm blind.
It works every time.
See what? Where? Gosh.
Mr. T, can you help me to the hotel? Oh.
That's so terrible.
How do you know I'm Mr. T?
Now he's Mr. T.
Professor T.
Oh my gosh. Well, my moral of the story is nobody try to get me to keep a real secret because I will narc so fast.
I'd keep the secret.
You would.
I'm that dog.
You'd be like, T, I got you, dog. See what, bruh?
Bruh. I don't even care about that, bruh.
See what? No, we straight.
Mr. T, damn me up.
Stop calling him Mr. T.
He's Mr. T.
He's not Mr. T. You don't even know who Mr. T is.
No, I'm just kidding.
You should do a Google search for Mr. T. That's how young she is, everyone.
Who's Mr. T?
Yeah, just look it up.
I'm scared.
Mm-mm.
I'm scared. Scared.
Well, how about that for some deceit?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so excited to see who you guys think is the fake. Go to our Instagram or our YouTube channel and comment who you think's the fake this week's episode. And then next week we air on the podcast who is the fake of these 3 stories that we just told.
Maybe they're all fake. Let us know. Also, shout out to our listeners all over the world on the podcast. The podcast is growing.
Yes.
It's lots of fun. Most recently, I saw like a big uptick in like Sweden. So shout out to you guys in Sweden. Drop us a rating on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Help us get out there to a few more peeps. We really appreciate it. Tell your mom about this podcast. And we'll see you guys next week. Loves.
We love you guys. Internet frenzy on 3. 1, 2, 3. Internet frenzy.
No.
Love you. Bye.
Internet frenzy, electric love so trendy. Bytes and bits we're blending. One click, no pretending.